order. Today is Tuesday, July 18, 2023. We do have a quorum. Prior to our formal agenda, I would like to publicly, but Kevin, there's no one here in the public, to welcome you on behalf of the council and for your fellow council members. Welcome our newest member, Kevin Flynn, to his first meeting. I know Kevin, I've known him for a while. He's got an extensive background in the subject matter that would be pertinent to the council. So we look forward to utilizing that and tapping that as we go forward. So welcome, Kevin. First matter on the agenda, well, I would ask that the record reflect the members that are present as well as staff members. And the first matter will be approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, that meeting being June 27, 2023. I know Lisa had sent out the minutes, so I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes as they've been presented, unless there's any corrections that would be proffered at this time.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the preceding meeting.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Gomez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Let the record reflect that the minutes were unanimously approved, and Mr. Flynn has abstained on it.
Mr. Chair, I'd also like to abstain. I wasn't here at the last meeting either.
Okay, and Mr. Gray will be entered as an abstention on that one as well. So they do pass unanimously for the voting members. First matter is subcommittee reports.
There are no subcommittee reports tonight, Mr. Chair.
All right, staff reports.
I have a couple of items on the staff report, Mr. Chairman. I think you're all aware that the shoreline access bill, which has been debated in our legislature for the past two sessions, passed this session, signed into law by the governor, and it directs the CRMC, the DEM, and the Attorney General.
I'm
sorry. I'm trying to hook up my hearing aids.
Can you not hear?
No, I'm here. I was hearing something and nobody was talking.
Oh. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Yes.
So the shoreline access bill, which was passed by the governor, directs DEM, CRMC, and the Attorney General a couple of different tasks. Specifically, DEM and CRMC get together to educate the public on what this bill's intent and purpose was. And then the three agencies to get together and work on signage and accessibility issues, let the public know what their rights are and how they can utilize this bill. So we have organized and are organizing meetings with DEM, the Attorney General, municipal police, to bring everybody together so that we're all on the same page in moving forward in how to implement the act. If you're not aware, the act allows the public to pass and repass along the shore to exercise their constitutionally guaranteed rights 10 feet above the recognizable high tide line. That high tide line could be what's called the rack line, the latest seaweed line, if you will. It could, where there's no seaweed line, it could be the wet sand area, or on a rocky beach, it could be where the wet rocks are. But it doesn't allow the public to pass and repass along permitted structures or things like a bulkhead or a seawall or whatnot. It certainly doesn't allow the public to walk on vegetation and inland of the vegetation or on someone's lawn, if you will. So it does set out certain parameters of what the public can and cannot do. But again, CRMC, DEM, and the Attorney General, along with the municipal offices, especially the police departments, will be getting together as soon as next week and then the several weeks after to help implement the act. As an aside, both Terry, myself, and the Attorney General in our professional capacities are being sued to not implement the act by a private property rights group. So thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a brief question of Mr. Willis and Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Did you get served formally?
I did not.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they typically serve the AG's office, but I'm not sure.
Okay, because CRMC hasn't been served. We haven't been notified by the Attorney General's service. I was wondering if you or someone at DEM had accepted service process.
I don't know. I can check. and let
Thank
know.
you.
So that is a process that will be going on in the legal side, but the agencies are going to continue to move forward in order to do what they were tasked to do by our legislature, is educate the public on what this act means and how they can exercise their constitutional rights. That said,
I'm just gonna ask that the record reflect that Councilmember Reynolds has not joined the meeting.
I mentioned this in previous staff reports, but I haven't mentioned it in a while. We are working with the Rhode Island Saltwater Anglers Association and the University of Rhode Island on what we call a recreational fishing task. And that task is to get a better understanding of where recreational fishing occurs throughout the state, so that when we have applications for activities in the waters of the state of Rhode Island, we'll have a better understanding rather than just anecdotal information on where recreational fishing occurs and what its value might be to folks that use those spots. That task is well in hand. We had a number of surveys taken, like at the fishing show over the winter, as well as other venues. And now we are in summer mode, if you will, where URI students are going out to tackle shops, bait and tackle shops. They're going out to boat ramps, and they're actually interviewing folks one-on-one to get additional data points and information. I'm very excited about that because sometime this fall and winter, you'll see that data come to you in the form of a report that we can report out and then work on how we integrate that type of data into our policies in the near future. So it's a very good task and working very well with the Rhode Island Saltwater Anglers Association on that. And lastly, Mr. Chair, I just want to let you know that the governor at the very end of the session this year appointed a hearing officer to the CRMC. That person has gone through Senate confirmation and is in the process with our staff, our HR and fiscal staff, of becoming an employee of the state. So CRMC will have a hearing officer soon once that process is finished. And that's it.
Just a quick question on the fishing surveys that you're taking, offshore, inshore, from the beach,
All those places.
all those?
Yes,
Okay.
So the ones that are occurring this summer, where we're actually going out, we're bringing maps with us that have set aside, they're not really quadrants, they're hectares actually. And we're asking folks to pick a hectare of where they fish, and that could be anywhere from Block Island north. It shows shoreline, it shows boating access and it shows shoreline access.
And then we're truthful when they ask you where you fish.
No, well, I have taken the survey. I fished. I only gave them 2 data points. Because I two places I
You're
fished.
right out of 25, and they were the 2 worst ones.
No, we're not finding that.
Fishermen lie. But you can strike that comment.
Anything else as it relates to staff reports or any questions of Jeff? No, all right, moving on our agenda. First one is per Ocean SAMP section 11.9.4 parenthesis H. Appointment to the Fishermen's Advisory Board of member Megan Lapp, representing seafood processing facilities.
I have that one, Mr. Chair.
Jeff.
So the Fishermen's Advisory Board is set out in the Ocean SAMP as an advisory board to the CRMC to help us with activities that occur out in the geographic location descriptions of the OSAMP. And its membership is appointed by this council. One of the members has resigned from the FAB. Rick Bellavance was that member who resigned from the FAB. And the FAB members have brought in Megan Lapp to be his replacement. You'll see Megan's background information that is in your agenda materials. And from a staff's perspective, we have no problem whatsoever with the FAB bringing in Megan Lapp to be Rick's replacement. And just asking you all to ratify that to make it official that she would be a member of the FAB in accordance with the Ocean SAMP section.
Any questions of Jeff on that?
Looking for a motion.
Yes,
Well, if there's no questions, yes, we're ready for a motion.
Yes, I move that this person be accepted. I've reviewed the material that was presented. I went to the websites and she seems like a very good candidate. So I would move approval of her appointment.
Mr. Gomez has moved approval. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is it Mr. Gray has seconded it? Any discussion? We'll now poll the council. Mr. Russolino. Ms. Hall.
Aye.
Mr. Gray.
Aye.
Ms. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Flynn.
Aye.
Mr. Izzy. Aye. Mr. Gomez.
Aye.
I too vote aye. Let the record reflect, which was approved unanimously. Next matter on the agenda is additional ratification of decision in the matter of Jamestown Boatyard 2019-06-014. Well, Tony, you gonna do this one?
I am, excuse me, I am, yes.
On the record, what board members, council members are able to?
Yes,
If you could, thanks.
this is a decision that was voted on by the by the council back in October of 2020. The only remaining members that were there and present in voting on the matter are Mr. Gomez, Chair Koya, and Ms. Reynolds. Of course, Mr. Russolino and Mr. Flynn, Ms. Robinson Hall, Director Gray, and Mr. Izzy were not there. So this is part of a case, the Dumplings Inc. versus Jamestown Boatyard in the Coastal Resources Management Council.
They count as a quorum. I just want to get that.
That counts as a quorum.
Right.
I'm sorry, under section 1.2C. The majority vote shall be a majority of those present in voting. If a council member wishes to abstain, and in this instance, I recommend that those members that were not part of the initial process do abstain, count for the quorum. So here, those voting will be 3 under the management procedures 1.2C. It's in order for a vote tonight. This is in connection with the Dumplings case. They took an appeal from the decision for the Jamestown Boatyard, which was granting their application for dredging and also to extend their dock. The matter was reviewed, the written decision was reviewed by the council, if you recall. And the then chair at the time recommended that number 4 in the findings of fact, and that's on page, let's see now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The applicant sought approval to extend 3 piers within the existing marina perimeter limit and to perform approximately 2,000 yards of improvement dredging with CAD cell disposal material. The 3 piers is the language that was added and approved by the council at that time. And a request from the court and the plaintiff is that be embodied in a new written decision and ratified by the council tonight.
This is so as written. This is the minutes, I guess, as written.
This, what you have in the packet is the new decision, with that one change to finding of fact number 4.
Okay, let me just check that. I read through it, it all came back. I thought we were good. So, and you said what? Page 8, is that what you said?
I believe it's page 8. Unfortunately, the decision is not numbered. And math wasn't my best subject.
I won't go there. I wasn't either, but I got to be an engineer, I guess. That, I guess I don't see it yet. Page 8.
The first page where they start a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you see that.
Right here. The 3 piers,
Okay.
the 2,000 yards.
Okay. It's gonna be there somewhere, all right.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
There you go, and it's even blued out for you too.
It's number page 9.
I missed.
Fine. Thanks for the help. Okay, so number 4, yeah, good, sorry. And that's the only change that we're looking at.
Correct, yes.
Any questions of Attorney DeSisto?
I have none.
All right, I would entertain a motion to ratify the decision as presented to us this evening with that change.
I'll make a motion to approve or ratify the decision as amended with the changes to the addition of finding of fact number 4.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Reynolds, seconded by Mr. Gomez. I'm going to poll the council and to remind those that were not on the council at that time, I'm still gonna ask for your vote, and it was recommended that you abstain. So, Mr. Russolino,
Abstain.
Ms. Hall,
Abstain.
Mr. Gray,
Abstain.
Ms. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Flynn,
Abstain.
Mr. Izzy,
Abstain.
Mr. Gomez,
Aye.
and I too, Raymond Coy, vote aye. So it passes unanimously from the eligible voting members. Next matter is the application that's been out to public notice before the council for review and action. It's 2020-04-037, John Bowen and Patrick Bowen. And I'll let the record reflect that it's to establish a 0.97 oyster farm using submerged cases in the Sepulveda Cove, Tiverton, Rhode Island. And you want to report on this?
Yes, thank you,
Mr. Willis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We received a application, actually a request from the Bowens to have this matter continued for the reason that they needed to retain their own counsel. That's a very good reason, in my opinion, to grant the continuance, so it was granted, and which is why we will not be hearing it tonight.
I'd ask you to schedule it for the meeting that it would be available next. And that would operate as a ratification.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Willis? All right, what I'd be seeking then is a motion to move the matter to the next scheduled date that it would be applicable on. Is that
Available. again.
available?
Well,
That they're properly seated with an attorney. I mean, my understanding is that's what they were seeking. An opportunity to get an attorney, so I don't want to say continue to our next hearing,
Yes.
because they may not have the
That
attorney.
that would have been my question, Mr. Chair, that once they retain counsel, we could be in touch with that counsel and determine a reasonable time frame for them to come up to speed and then schedule it thereafter.
Correct, and there's a lot of information to disseminate, so because the continuance was granted, the lawyer would need to have time to come up to speed on the matter.
So I'd ask for a motion to incorporate the comments that Jeff had just made as well. Someone want to make the motion?
I'll move it.
Mr. Gomez has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hall. Any discussion? I'll pull the council, Mr. Russolino,
Aye.
Ms. Hall,
Aye.
Mr. Gray,
Aye.
Ms. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Flynn,
Aye.
Mr. Izzy,
Aye.
Mr. Gomez.
Aye.
I too, Raymond Coy, vote aye. That matter will be continued. Is there anything else to come before the council this evening?
There is not, Mr. Chair.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion made in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Let me get out of the next one.
Kevin.